On, everybody? What is going on? The catch. Fam, I hope everyone is doing phenomenal. I hope you guys had a great start to the week. I hope you guys are ready for a real subscriber catch fam community super flex fantasy football draft. We're hopping into our annual super flex draft for the 2024 season. This league has now gone on for, this might just be our second year, or is this our third year? I honestly can't remember, but we're now officially a keeper league. So you guys will see each team's respective keeper on the screen there. So we've got JT in the 6th, Spears in the 14th, Zeke in the 13th. That team actually really didn't have a lot of good options, but Zeke in the 13th. Evans in the 9th, Lundo's in the 5th, Bryce Young's in the 9th, CeeDee Lamb in the 3rd. I've got Tank Dell in the 14th, Stroud in the 8th, Brees in the 6th, Gibbs in the 4th, A-Chain in the 11th. So we kind of start this league off a little scarce at the running back position. Nonetheless, it's going to be a very interesting draft overall with those respective keepers already gone. But I'm excited as always. This is always a great league, and always excited to just hop into a real draft for the actual season, regardless of what format. So we've already gotten through a couple of the Catch Fam regular redraft full PPR leagues, and each draft has been very competitive. And I'm really interested to see how this one shakes out tonight. So you guys know what to do. Hop in the live chat. Any fantasy football questions you guys have, redraft, dynasty, or best ball, you guys have already drafted for your redraft leagues. If you haven't, doesn't matter. Either way, are you guys worried about your teams? Are you guys excited about your teams? What players should you take if you already know your draft position? What trades are you guys already thinking about? What waiver wire options are you guys already thinking about? Whatever it may be, hop in the live chat. We're going to have some fun tonight. We are going to talk some fantasy football, and we're going to kick off this draft in less than a minute. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm just staring at the clock and ready to hit that start draft button. And we will get into some news for the day as well. And there we go. Time to kick off the draft. So CeeDee Lamb early in the day re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys. A record 4-year, $136 million deal makes him the second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. The deal includes a $38 million signing bonus, which is the largest ever given to a wide receiver. So we kind of have talked about this recently. And, you know, when I got questions from you guys pretty consistently, my feedback has been that I have not been worried about CeeDee Lamb. You know, there's been once or twice where it's been, you know, like he has one of these agents that's a little bit more hard pressed. Maybe potentially will try to keep his players in terms of holding out. But at the end of the day, I have not been worried about CeeDee Lamb. And I have not been worried about Jamar Chase, who we saw practice earlier in the week as well. I think my viewpoint has always really been that both these guys would be out there on the field. So, but nonetheless, really, this is just good news for fantasy football. I saw a post today. It was 1.2 drafters. We are so back. So if you guys, you know, whether you believe in Hill or Lamb, but I mean, I guess mainly if you believe in Hill, this is, actually, I mean, if you believe in Lamb, then this is a good day for you. But nonetheless, makes our fantasy football evaluations much, much easier at this point in time. Okay. If you're worried about Dak Prescott potentially having more of a down year potentially, That worry should be gone. CeeDee Lamb locked up with the Cowboys. All right, so the Broncos officially expected to move on from running back Samaje Perine. So we had some drama like on and off early in the offseason about the Broncos running back room. And I said early in the offseason, let me make this draft pick. Pick 2.5. This is such a weird draft. Okay, I'll take A-Rich. I don't think I have Richardson in a single league this year yet, so I'll go Richardson. It's pretty tempting to go with a skill position player here because there's such a lack of skill position players on the board already with this being a keeper league. But it's just when I'm in a super flex league, I just almost always start the draft with a quarterback. So I do feel like there's a little bit of risk with Richardson. So I was kind of looking into that next tier, but I'll take A-Rich. Give me the upside. Let's move along. But yeah, going back to the Broncos running backs, I always thought Samaje Perine was the most likely to get cut, but we had kind of that like drama period of Javonte Williams being like the most likely running back according to some reports. And we kept the faith in Javonte Williams this offseason. I think it's going to pay off still. You know, I mean, you're going to now see Jaleel McLaughlin be the RB2, then Audric Estime be the RB3 would be my guess here. And Samaje Perine, the veteran, the odd man out here. So this is good news, I think, for fantasy football because it makes us, we at least have a clear picture now of the Broncos backfield. Then we also have news coming out from the Broncos, I guess I should say. Tim Patrick expected to be, or the Broncos expected to move on from Tim Patrick and are looking at trade possibilities, which I think is interesting because, I mean, I really have always been a Tim Patrick fan, but coming off of the injury he's coming off of, you know, I feel like it's going to be kind of difficult to trade him. But am I surprised that the Sean Payton team is doing this? No. The Titans have traded quarterback Malik Willis to the Packers in exchange for a 2025 7th-round pick. So more than likely, he will move into the QB2 spot for the Packers. I don't know if you guys watched Packers preseason at all, but outside of Jordan Love, they have a rookie, Michael Pratt, who was okay, but Sean Clifford, who was expected to be the QB2 for the Packers, really struggled in preseason for the most part. So now you're going to see probably, I would assume he's going to get cut, but we'll see. This is a really tough pick, but there's such a lack of running back on the board that I'm going to take Saquon Barkley here. We'll see what happens, but I just am. When you've already got JT, Breece Hall, A-Chain, and Gibbs gone, and Bijan gone at the 111, as well as McCaffrey obviously gone. You're already seeing wide receivers going kind of quickly in this draft. Dak goes at the 2-6. I think that's a great pick for Mr. Sarcastic. Gets a stack CeeDee Lamb. Gets two stud wide. I mean, wide receiver 1 and 2 from last year, and a great pick for his first quarterback at Dak there. So, but yeah, Malik Willis did not live up to where he got drafted by the Titans. He is now being traded for a 7th-round pick. Dalvin Cook is flying to Dallas for a visit because Jerry Jones. All right. 2nd round wrapping up here. MH Jr. is gone. And I will hop into the live chat in just a second here. If you guys are drafting this week or next, let me know when you guys are drafting, what formats you guys are drafting in. And if you guys feel ready or not. We've got the Catch Fam League number 1 drafting Friday night. The Auction League is drafting this Saturday. Should probably check. I've got 2 drafts. I got my home draft and I got a fantasy endgame draft tomorrow. Catch Fam League number 1 is drafting Friday. The Auction League is drafting Saturday. I got my second endgame draft Sunday night. Then the Catch Fam League number 5, the final draft the year for the community on Tuesday. So the calendar is full. And there it goes. Trevor Lawrence gone to Cats. All right, Cinnabon, what's up? Glad you're out here drafting tonight. How are you, man? Mike, let's go. Let's go. Starts the draft with Lamar and Puka. Very nice. Shane, good to see you as always. What's going on? Emil, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. How's everyone doing? Cat says, everyone with the goated keepers, I just got Tajay Spears down at the bottom. I mean, at least it's a 14th round pick. I mean, it's like you get added running back depth. And like, I mean, if you're like getting Tajay in like the 10th or 11th, like it probably, you know, I mean, but yeah, you didn't really come out of that draft with any better options. Did you? I don't know. I'm going to check now. I think when I looked before, I kind of agreed that Tajay was the best choice for you. Hold on. Let me anticipate this next selection. Who is J-Dubs going to pick? A lot of skill position players since the last time I drafted. He goes Waddle. Now, J-Dubs, I think, might be contingent here on Bryce Young being his QB2. I don't know. Nonetheless, I am torn on this pick. I really want to do this. I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I think the upside of Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels combined is very risky. Especially with Barkley and Tank Dell as my only other 2 players here. A lot of injury risk across the board at this team here, but a lot of upside. We'll see how it turns out. Should be fun. Should be fun. All right. Okay. So Superflex squads last year. Cats. Wow, your team. I mean, maybe Pitts in the 9th. Yeah, your team is pretty bad, bro. You could have kept Lamar at 1-4. Or no, you're the 1-2. So yeah, you couldn't even do that. Yeah. Yeah, Spears was seriously your best pick. Lamar, Chubb, Pollard, Cooper, Stevenson, Stafford, Allen Lockett, Pitts, Tannehill, Cooks, Odell, Damian Harris, Spears. Did you win this league last year? Who won this league last year? Wow, your team was... I don't remember who won. Thoughts on Hawkinson this year when healthy? When he's healthy and playing again, would you rock with him or Trey McBride? Probably rock with Trey McBride. If you have both, that's fine. If you drafted Hawkinson, he's on your IR, you're going to save him for down the stretch. I mean, I think at that point, you might as well roster both players. Tough pick here once again. By the way, I totally forgot to mention this in the chat. I'm going to go Pacheco. I'm going to get a little risky here. Totally forgot to mention this to the league, but there's a limit of, we usually cap it at, you can only draft 4 quarterbacks, and that's going to include if your keeper was a quarterback. So just so you guys, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any issues, but just so you guys know, I mean, that we've done that every year. So after the draft, if you want to roster your entire bench with quarterbacks, I don't care, but draft is purely 4 quarterbacks only. But yeah, JSC, I think I'd rather have McBride as the year goes on. I think he's going to get better quarterback play. So what's up, Andrea? Good to see you in the draft. Hello. Emil, serious question. Does being the highest paid player mean you're the best of your position? No. I mean, Patrick Mahomes not the highest paid quarterback. Tom Brady was like never the highest paid quarterback. Peyton Manning, I think at one point was, but no, it does not. Does not. Kind of also depends on what year did your contract run out. And yeah, I mean, I'd say no. It can, but no. JC says not necessarily, but it does show how your team views you to their franchise and how you impact it. Definitely. Yeah, I think the interesting thing now for the Cowboys is, what are they going to do with Dak? And hopefully they will go ahead and get this deal done. I think they're going to try and push off the Parsons contract to next year, which I think they should try and get both done, but Cat's more about leverage than his skill, to be honest, hence the Daniel Jones contract. Yeah, I think leverage is a huge part of it as well. Oh. All right, I know Mamba said that he was working tonight. He'd have a queue set. Sutton, Mims, Dulcich, underrated group of pass catchers. I mean, I like Sutton a lot. I've liked Sutton all offseason long. I've talked about Cortland Sutton throughout the entire offseason. I am definitely a fan. Mims, I think, can be good in this offense too. He's shown some flashes in preseason. The interesting thing for me has been that Tim Patrick has been completely non-existent in this offense. So I really thought, excuse me, not Tim Patrick. I'm sorry. Tim Patrick is potentially now getting traded, and Tim Patrick just caught a touchdown the other week. Then, like, you started to see him get drafted pretty heavily in Underdog. But the interesting thing to me is that Troy Franklin has not really shown up. I thought, especially being on the field potentially with Bo Nix, that we would see that kind of connection from college spark up, and we haven't. Greg Dulcich is not a name that excites me. I get that Greggy D had some flashes in 2022. Scored like 2 touchdowns that year. Greg Dulcich had 4 targets last year. I mean, he was fine in his rookie season. In 10 games, he had 12.4, 5 yards per catch, 411 receiving yards off of 33 receptions, 2 touchdowns. But it's not like that's fantastic. Greg Dulcich, I'm not on the Greg Dulcich train. Sean Payton utilized the tight end position very oddly last year. I'm not that part of it does not excite me, but there's potential, I suppose. Albert, good to see you. What's up? Cinnabon, I haven't done a single auction draft this offseason. I have not either. We're winging it. Can you really like prepare for an auction league? Not quite sure that you can. Like, I mean, you can, but like every league's so different. Underrated as they might not be the 32nd worst. Yeah, sure. Catch fan, what's up? Says Chase, good to see you. Hello, hello. Hope all is well. Worst stretch of all time, and I won the league. You did, bro. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, how in the world did you pull that off? All right, tough pick once again here on the board. I don't know if he'll come back to me, but I really like Stafford as a QB3. I almost took Stafford over Pacheco. You guys are slinging it at wide receiver tonight. Slinging it at skill position. But I feel like I do, like with a lot of teams right now, I would go wide receiver or running back. Like I know I already have 2 running backs, but there's at least one running back here that I think would be worth drafting as an RB3. But I feel like with Richardson and Jaden Daniels at quarterback, I have the highest need of a third quarterback thus far. Because my injury risk is so high. Made for TV. Good to see you, bro. How are we? And Andrea takes Kenneth Walker. That was the one running back that, like, yeah, I already got Barkley and Barkley and Pacheco here, but Walker I really like too. Yeah, you see the advantages here for Andrea, who has Stroud in the 8th, and J-Dubs, who has Bryce Young in the 9th, and what they've been able to do on the board and not really, after going quarterback in the 1st, not really having to have worried about the quarterback position as much as this draft has gone on. Mr. Sarcastic says, I almost had Pacheco. Yeah, when he took Cook, I was kind of wondering if that's where you're originally going to go. Cats, you cannot keep the same player 2 years in a row. Yeah, obviously not asking for yourself. Such good neighbors value. Shake my head. Didn't have the wide receiver room to pull the trigger. Yeah, I mean, I think in a SUPERFLEX league, the 5-6 is, I mean, like, I think you could see him even go a little bit later. We've seen him go in the 5th round in a non-SUPERFLEX format. So, all right, into the 6 we go. Drafting relatively quickly here, ladies and gentlemen. There goes Breece Hall to 6.3. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty heavy running back draft, but I still think we've seen far more wide receivers taken here than running backs so far. So I kind of locked up the running back position earlier on, and I'm okay with that. Now I have a tough pick. I'm kind of just... I'll go Cooper. Kind of just have to go best available wide receiver, but that's a tough tier right there. Pickens, Cooper, Pickens, Higgins. Tough. Was really close to going Pickens there. I've drafted Pickens in more leagues than I thought I would this year so far. And I just drafted him last night in my 16-team league. So I feel like I haven't drafted Cooper at all this year. I was about to say, I think I'm just drafting a pure upside team, which Cooper still kind of fits, but I think Pickens fits a little bit more. So I'll go Cooper. I'm still fine with that. Yeah, we see a heavy running back round here in the 6. Really good value. I mean, mix it in the 6. Swift goes to Cinnabon. I wonder why. He's a Bears fan. But Monty and Stevenson here as well. There goes Higgins. We've got some good teams forming across the board. Will Steven make an appearance for league number 1's draft? No, he's going out of town Friday, unfortunately. I can talk to him and see if we can potentially move the date. But I mean, if Steven was able to stream, then I would consider moving the date, but I don't quite know if he's going to be able to. But we shall see. Cinnamons has got to get that QB and RP stack. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, into the 7th round we go. Look at some of these running back rooms. Bud Smoker's got Henry, Kamara, JT. Smokey the Cat's got Bijan and Gibbs. I guess those are really the only ones that stand out, but I was really close to going Bijan over Anthony Richardson. Really close. We want Steven. I will send this to him right now. I was literally just texting him. So Rodgers is off the board at the 7.3. So why, Michael? Why? You have Kelsey. I was like praying that. I mean, I didn't really expect Ingram to fall. You see Jay Fitness and Mr. Sarcastic with no tight end. But nonetheless, of all people, Michael takes Evan Ingram from me. Good pick. There goes Kirko, number 2. Christian Kirk, not Kirk Cousins. There goes Aaron Jones. I know J-Dubs is loving the start to his draft. There goes Brock Bowers. Tough pick. Go Jaden Reed. Pete didn't want to witness history. What do you mean? For the Superflex for tonight because you're drafting Trevor Lawrence? There's a very J-Dub start over there at the 1-6. Yeah, Pete usually doesn't stream Monday night, so. Dang. So I was gonna take Xavier Worthy at the 7-8 just to lock him up. Because I my head was like, I could see one of the teams here drafting towards the end not are going with Xavier Worthy because they wouldn't make it back to, that same draft position. And of course, Senior Cinnabon takes them. It's a good pick, though. I've drafted Xavier Worthy in like every draft I've been in, though. So knowing me, he will probably get hurt. I'll go with some more running back depth here. Mostert, because I have a bad feeling the running backs here are gonna kind of dry out still sooner rather than later. And I've already committed to a weak wide receiver team. So I like Jonathan Brooks here too. But I've drafted a lot of Jonathan Brooks lately and just thrown him on the IR. So always looking to snipe John. I know you are. It's a good pick. Like I said, in my 16. I drafted a 16 team league. This is a league I play in every year. I've played in this league for a really long time, and every year the draft is different, or the league is different, I should say. We've done 20 teams. We've done 16 before. We've done 14. We've done SUPERFLEX with 12. We've done double QB with 12. We've done just regular, like typical redraft settings, full PPR. But I've played in this league since I have played in this league for over 10 years for sure. It's one of my first ever bosses league that I've just always been in. This is a 16 team format, and I was really happy with this team for 16 teams. Josh Allen, I went quarterback early. It was the first team to take a quarterback. I usually don't do that. And I actually felt like I almost regretted this because there was still really good value at quarterback as the draft went on. But at the same time, in a 16 team format, having Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, Lamar, Patty, it just gives you a really good advantage because you're going to see teams with bottom tier quarterbacks. So hopefully Josh Allen stays healthy. But Josh Allen, Amon-Ra, Tank Dell, Devon Achane. Sorry, let me fix the draft. Chuba Hubbard, Luke Musgrave, George Pickens. That's my starting lineup. Xavier Worthy, Christian Watson, Blake Corum, Rico Dowdle. Drafted Pittsburgh's defense and Seattle's kicker, Jason Myers. Not that anyone cares. But I felt like that was a very good draft for a 16-team format. I slightly regret not going tight end over Pickens, but Pickens fell really far in this draft. I mean, even for a 16-team format, I still got him at pick 81. And then I wanted, I just kind of committed to a hero RB approach, which is not really that smart of an idea in a 16-team format, but I did it anyways. And yeah, I mean, Chuba, Blake Core, and Rico Dowdle is not great, but I'm just going to rock with it. I think it can get me enough. And then I kind of have this really high ceiling, a lot of upside at wide receiver and depth at wide receiver that can hold me over. And I still think Luke Musgrave is going to have a good season. So I ended up really liking this team for a 16-team format and kind of looking across the league, although there are some really sharp players and sharp drafters in this league, I feel like I'm actually in a very good spot. So we'll see. It's a weird pick if Coleman doesn't work out and I took him ahead of Worthy. Yeah, but I think overall, you got a good wide receiver room there. So I almost took Hollywood Brown over Mostert. This is the first draft where I won't have a Chiefs wide receiver. I've left every draft with some combination of Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and or Hollywood Brown. So I'm a little bit sad inside right now, but it's okay. I have Pacheco, though. I mean, I still got a Chiefs offensive player. So J-Dub says this is fun so far. Yeah. It always is, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? All right. I feel like I got to go Deontay here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most teams right now look pretty sharp. Yeah, Mamba, I know, is slightly on auto pick here, drafting from work, but does end up with all three Chicago Bears wide receivers. Keenan Allen fell a bit. I considered Allen over Mostert as well. Brad, what's going on? Thoughts on Waddle this year? Should I be looking to trade him? You got St. Brown, Coop, McLaurin, B. Tom, and JMO. I personally really like Waddle. I liked him all off season long, so I don't think I'd be looking to trade him, but you have a very solid wide receiver room in general. So, like, I do prefer depth. I prefer depth this time of year. But it depends on the rest of your roster. If you have a weakness at running back, probably running back would be the only place I'd look to tier up at. But you could ship one of these guys, whether it's Waddle, McLaurin, or Coop, would not be shipping St. Brown. And I just don't think you'd get a good enough return for Brian Thomas or JMO with their perceived upside. So I'd probably hold on to those two. But it really depends on what your running back room looks like, would be my answer. And yeah, I like Waddle personally, so I'm not really looking to move off of him. But it depends on the right value. I mean, if he's your wide receiver 2 behind St. Brown, then you got Cooper, McLaurin primarily as your flex options. I mean, I think you're in a great spot. And like right now, when you look at your team, you might feel like you have a lot of depth, but that depth is going to be something that's going to help keep your team going early and often throughout the season. All right, there goes Gino. Yeah, I wanted Jameson here. I like the Brian Robinson pick at 9.12. But I'm okay getting Sutton here as well. I just kind of wanted to draft for upside tonight. I don't know. I don't feel like my wide receivers hold as much upside as I wanted. But I don't think I have a bad wide receiver room by any stretch, especially if we're going running back and quarterback aggressive and early. 10-man, you got Lamar, Saquon Kamara, St. Brown, Waddle, Cooper, Bowers. Also got the Browns running backs. Yeah, I don't really feel like you need to tier up anywhere. Like, I personally like Kamara going into the season in full PPR. I am a big fan of Barkley. I don't really feel like I have to contest that. But yeah, I don't really feel like you need to move on from Waddle. And I think if you were to move on from anyone at the wide receiver position, I would go with Cooper McLaurin. And yeah, I mean, running back wouldn't hurt necessarily here, but if those are your 2 starting running backs, I think I feel okay. So I think you're fine. Sometimes you just have to look at your team. If you have depth at wide receiver, that's fine. Just roll with it. All right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this team tonight. I'm a little worried about my quarterbacks, but I think we'll make it through. The ceiling is high. That's all that matters. J Fitness, yes, I will go in order through every team at the end of the draft, so you guys don't need to worry about that. I gotcha. It goes Hawkinson. I was wondering if he was going to fall. If he was there at 11.8, I'd take him. Cat's going a little thin at running back over there. No, I started like 2 of my first 3 drafts. I drafted Hawkinson and Jonathan Brooks in both drafts and threw him on the IR. Chuba's a good pick there, Kath. Dobbs a good pick here in the 11th. And like, this is part of the reason why I haven't drafted Jaden Reed in any drafts yet, is because Dobbs, Watson just go so late. I feel like I can still get a piece of the Packers. But I like getting a little, trying to change it up throughout each league as well, you know. Give me some different exposure. All right, with this next pick, I'm going to take my 4th running back. Give me Gus Bus. I'm okay with that for sure. Wow, just 3 more picks. For some of us, just 2 more picks. Yeah, we pretty much drafted on par here. We're at 41 minutes, but it feels like it's gone a lot quicker than that. So the 11th round wrapping up. I feel like in keeper leagues, A-Chain has to have been one of the most common keepers. All right, into the 12th we go. And Senior Cinnabon takes another Bears player. I don't know what I want to do with this next pick. Cinnabon says, I didn't really want to keep A-Chain, but his value was too good to pass up. It definitely is too good to pass up. I mean, he's your RB4 right now. Okay, I have not done this in a single draft yet. I'm going to take Nick Chubb here. And when the draft ends, I'm going to throw him on IR. Because I've not been a fan of drafting Nick Chubb this year. I don't even know if he's going to play this year. But if he does, this will be the one league that I have a share of him. And that basically concludes this draft for me. Yeah, I mean, if you had as good of an option as Cats, you might be in a different boat. But you're not, Cinnabon. You're not. Got all my quarterbacks stacked with their running backs. This is interesting for sure. What, Jones and Singletary, Goff and Monty, Brock and C-Mac, sure. Shopkey says, been taking Ford and Chubb together and Dobbins / Edwards or Vidal. Fair. I don't like spending more than one draft pick like on a backfield. You know what I mean? But it's also fine too. Now, if you're drafting all 3 Chargers running backs, that'd be an issue for me. But I've been drafting a lot of Jerome Ford, as many of you know. It was Goddard. Was wondering when he was going to go. RBs are thinner than I expected. Yeah, I told you guys. We had like some of the best running backs in all the drafts already gone when we started the draft. JT. Oh gosh, now it's hard to remember. JT, Brees, Gibbs, A-Chain. And I feel like there's one more I'm missing. But even just 4 or 5 guys can really, really push things. Dowdle, Snipe, hurt my soul. Yeah, and let's see. When did I may have taken Dowdle at the 12-5. I may have. But I'm sure it hurt nonetheless. And you end up with Russell Wilson, so it probably hurt. Josh Palmer, top 20 this year. I mean, I like Palmer, and I like him at his ADP, but I don't know if I want to say top 20. I mean, that's still a lot of players he has to finish in front of there. So I don't know if I'll say top 20 necessarily. I still think Ladd's going to get plenty of receptions on this team. I'm not going to like overhype DJ Chark or Quentin Johnson or anything, but they will be factors to some degree. Chark maybe more, but yeah, I just don't know if I see Palmer. I mean, everything out of training camp for the Chargers has been great in terms of what we have heard from Justin Herbert in this passing attack. But I do think Palmer will be the most likely red zone target for Herbert as well. So I like him. But yeah, I'm not sold on top 20. And plus, it's a run-first offense, too. Kamara Jacobs, this is a tough question, Fletcher. I think you can really argue for either guy here. I do think I'm still going Jacobs. I love the PPR upside of Kamara. I think some people look at last year and just think it was like those few weeks, where he had 14 targets twice in 4 weeks, that he was good, but he was great last year in full PPR outside of week 16 and 17, which hurts. You needed him those weeks, but he had double digits every other game he played in last year. He missed the first 3 games in 21 points, 18, 17, 29, 27, 11, 18.5, 15.9, 28.9, 13.5, 16, then 8.5, 6.9. So I still think that he's going to get a lot of checkdowns this year. I really do like Kamara, but I think that the Packers offense is going to be far, far more efficient. There's a lot more mouths to feed in that offense as well. But I'd probably still go Jacobs. Thoughts on Ramondre and PPR? I like Ramondre. Really, like, even if it's, it doesn't really matter what format to me. I like Ramondre because his ADP just makes him a steal. He's the clear-cut RB1 there. Not a great offense. They're not going to be super efficient, but he's going to get all of the touches, so it doesn't really matter. New OC and new head coach, yeah. I mean, I like Ramondre where he goes in drafts, 100%, really regardless of the circumstances here. This is a keeper league, so that is why. Yeah, it's in the title because I knew somebody was going to come in here and look at the draft board and ask, but it's in the title. So that's why you see Tank Dell in the 14th. Cat's got Tajay in the 14th. Steal the draft. But yeah, JT's in the 6th round. Priest in the 6th round. I went over at the beginning of the stream as well. J-Dub says, I spread out my bye weeks. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to bye weeks at all. When do waivers open? What's today? Monday, so it'll be open Wednesday. Just normal waiver setting. Let me double check. Yeah. And it should be... I don't know. We did free agent bidding in this league last year. I'm trying to make sure it's set to free agent bidding, but for some reason I don't. I don't know if I'm overlooking it or what. Oh, it's right here. All right. Oh, sorry. Wasn't looking at the screen. My bad. All right, draft is donezo. Congrats to the annual SUPERFLEX League. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, I will go through each and every team here. Let you know what I think. Great draft, guys. Nice competitive draft here. I'm actually really interested to see how these teams turned out. I think nonetheless, it's going to be a great league for the 2024 season. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, J-Dub's brought up a good point about bye weeks. Wow. Jaden Daniels and Anthony Richardson have the same bye week. I'll figure it out. Week 14 of all weeks. So that's probably a week you need to win. Would you send 2026 second for Braylon Allen, Dynasty Superflex win now roster? I mean, yeah, if you're going win now for sure. Yeah. Lock up that backfield. What's a keeper league? You choose one player from the year before and whatever round you selected them in, you sacrifice that. So like Bud Smoker drafted JT in the 6th last year. He did not get a 6th round pick this year, but he got Jonathan Taylor. Waivers open Wednesday. Yeah, that's no different. It's just I was making sure it's set to free agent bidding. So, I mean, you guys can enter your waivers, but nothing's going to happen until Wednesday morning. All right, let's take a look here. Bud Smoker had Josh Allen at the 1.1. Only drafts 2 quarterbacks, goes to Deshaun Watson in the 5th. When Watson over Stafford, which is okay, but I prefer Stafford there. Henry, Kamara, JT, Eckler, McLaughlin, a very good running back room, definitely aided by the fact that you got JT in the 6, Cup, Hollywood, JSN, Lockett, Mike Williams. A little thin there, wide receiver. Kittle and Freiermuth is fine. So you're starting Allen, Watson, Henry, Kamara, Cup, JSN, flexing JT. Can certainly work. You get Hollywood Brown after the first couple of weeks. Everyone else here is bench worthy. I mean, I still like Eckler at his ADP. The preseason has really shown us that Brian Robinson Jr. is going to be the guy there. So still like him, but yeah. Just a little thin at wide receiver. But I do like, I mean, where you drafted Hollywood and JSN, I do really like them. I like that you loaded up at running back. You get your upside there. I don't think Watson is a super high ceiling, but he's still fine in super flex. You know, tight ends look good. Play the waiver at wide receiver. See what happens. You do probably have the best quarterback in the draft, though. Per Cousins. We got Mahomes, T-Law, Darnold, McCarthy. At first, I was like, why would you draft McCarthy? But it's a keeper league, so you're going to drop him and potentially use him as your keeper next year, I guess. Ferguson and Hawk, you look fine at tight end. Kyron, Chuba, and Spears thin at running back. I assume you're hitting the waivers for the running back position after you move Hawkinson and drop McCarthy. So I guess it opens up 2 bench spots. Unless you're just going to throw McCarthy on IR all year. I don't even remember if we have 1 or 2. We have 2 IR spots, but that wouldn't make any sense. Devonta, Metcalf, McLaurin, Pickens, B-Tom, wide receivers look great. So starting Mahomes, T-Law, Kyron, Chuba or Spears, Devonta, Metcalf, Lexi, McLaurin, Pickens, and B-Tom on the bench. Very nice. Fergie is your starting tight end. This was a good draft. Interesting strats there at the end, but good draft, Cats. I mean, you drafted Trevor Lawrence, who best quarterback in the league, too. All right, Mamba's at the 1-3. We got Hurts and Rodgers. That's it. Laporta and Goddard. Good tight end room. White, Warren, Zeke, Miller. This was a slightly auto-selected team, drafting from work. MH Jr., DJ Moore, Higgins, Roma Dunze, Keenan Allen, Romeo Dobbs. This team is definitely interesting. You got all the Bears wide receivers. Probably upset Senior Cinnabon or maybe J-Dubs. But so you're starting Hurts and Rodgers, Laporta, Rashad White. Jalen Warren saying that he'll be ready for week 1, so maybe a good value there. Zeke and Kendre, see if they help you out. Marvin Harrison Jr., DJ Moore, Higgins, and Dunze, Allen, Dobbs. I would have tried to diversify. Once again, I don't remember if these were auto picks for you. Like if you could have got Hollywood or Brian Thomas in the 8th. Mike Evans was a keeper in the 9th. Maybe go Deontay. I think maybe it's okay to have 2 of these guys. I don't know. 3 might be okay. I mean, we'll find out. I like Dobbs in the 11th. So you're starting Rodgers, Hurts, Laporta, White, Warren, MH. Moore and Higgins is a good starting lineup. You've got a pretty good bench. I mean, I don't dislike this team. So we'll see. Big Mike at the 1-4. We got Lamar, Levis, and Carr. It's a very Michael quarterback room. We got Kelsey and Ingram. Great tight ends. E.T. and Ramondre Ford. Chandler, not bad for your strat. Puka, Pittman, Evans, Gabe, Davis, Cooks. I always fear a Michael team, so see what the regular season brings us. But you're starting Lamar and Levis, Kelsey, Puka, Pittman, Etienne, Ramondre, flexing Evans, got Ingram, Ford, Gabe Davis, Chandler, Cooks, Carr, all on the bench. Not bad. Not bad. All right, J Fitness at the 1-5. You got Purdy, Goff, and Danny Dimes. Not bad. Njoku, I think, was a really good value in the 9th. If he had fell to the where did I draft? The 9-8. I would have probably taken him. C-Mac, Monty, Najee, Singletary's fine. Adams, London, Kirk, Addison, Judy, Xavier Leggett, not bad. Starting Purdy and Goff, C-Mac and Monty, Adams, London, flexing Kirk. Once again, a very good starting lineup. I don't know if I said Njoku, but you're starting him too. Good bench, Najee, Addison, Singletary. I mean, yes, Daniel Jones will still be rostered in a 12-team Superflex format. Judy and Leggett, fine. Yeah, good team. I mean, a lot of good starting lineups here, too. This is a good squad. Dubby at the 1-6. Kept Bryce in the 9th. Got Burrow, Bryce Young. Dangerous. It's fine. Pitts at tight end. Jones, Brooks, Zach Moss. Zach Moss was a good value for you. Charbs and Dobbins. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Debo, Neighbors, Myers. This is such a J-Dubs team. It's like not even funny. This looks like one of your underdog teams. So you're starting Burrow and Young, Pitts, Wilson, Waddle, Debo, Jones, Zach Moss. You get Brooks down the stretch. You got Neighbors on the bench. Myers, Charbs, Dobbins, Russ on the bench. Yeah, I mean, this team is ready to go into the regular season for sure. It's a good squad. This is sarcastic. So this start for you really worked out because you kept CeeDee Lamb in the 3rd. You got Hill at 1.7, and you still landed Dak at the 2.6. So you got Dak, Bo Nix, and Drake May. I mean, yeah, like you need a rookie year out of Nix or May or both for sure. But you got Cook, Mixon, Javonte, Trey Benson, pretty good running back room. I'm a little worried about Benson right now, but he's fine. Hill, Lamb, Diggs, Polk, Gwen Johnston, the GOAT. Bowers and Sennett. I mean, it's fine. I maybe prefer Ferguson over Bowers, Njoku over Bowers, but I completely see why you picked him, and you at least potentially have 2 very good keepers at tight end for next year. So you're starting Prescott and Nix, Hill, Lamb, Diggs, Cook, Mixon, Bowers. Nice. I mean, your bench is going to be interesting. You do have some good keeper options for next year if any of these guys pan out. We got to see first, but starting lineup looks good for sure. For sure. All right, I'll do my team last. Andrea got a huge advantage going Stroud in the 8th round. Kyler, Stroud, Garner, Minshew. Mark Andrews at tight end. That's fine. Jacobs, Walker, Connor, Dowdle. Good running back room. AJ Brown, Chris Olave, Hopkins, Jamal Williams, Shakir, and Josh Downs. I would have gone like Watson over Hopkins. They're saying he's going to be ready for the season opener. We'll see. I mean, he's okay there. I would have gone for the upside in Watson there. I love the J-Mo pick. I was going to take J-Mo at the 10-5. Shakir's fine. I mean, maybe I prefer Josh Palmer there, but he's fine. I like the Josh Downs pick in the 14th line. I mean, this is a good team. You're starting Kyler and Stroud. It's a huge advantage for you. Jacobs and Walker's great as RB1 and RB2. AJ Brown, Chris Olave, great. Then you're flexing D-Hopper, J-Mo, or Connor. I mean, it's a nice team. So, yeah, I'd be pretty happy with this squad. Like I said, maybe a couple guys I prefer with some of those picks, but nonetheless, good team. What is this trade in the Dynasty League I'm looking at? A JJ and CeeDee Lamb swap. DJ Moore is involved and Joku's involved. Cinnabon's receiving JJ, Burton, a first, 2/3. J-Dub's receiving in Joku, DJ Moore, Lamb, and a fourth. Okay. You guys are adults. Accepted. All right, going back to the Superflex League. Kuda goes J-Lo, Herbert, Michael Penix. Who else was available at quarterback? I mean, in a keeper league, drafting Penix there is fine. That's fine. McBride, you're good there. Got a huge advantage getting Brees in the 6. Zamir White, a great RB2. Pollard goes 3 running backs. See what happens. JJ Ayuk, Ridley, Ladd, Curtis Samuel, Josh Palmer, AD Mitchell. Not bad. Pretty solid team here. You're starting Love and Herbert, McBride, Hall and White, JJ Ayuk, Ridley. I mean, that starting lineup is pretty good and a pretty decent bench here as well. Thin at running back, but not a bad team here. I just realized in the Dynasty League I accepted that trade. I didn't look if there was any future first rounders, but given that it's no all 2000, so 2026 fourth rounder. I guess we need to pay up for 2000 for fourth rounders too. I don't know. It was between Cinnabon and J-Dub, so I kind of figured it would have been said. But my bad. I keep doing that. All right. Smokey's got Tua, Baker, Geno, Fields loaded up there. QB, Bijan and Gibbs was his keeper. Algier Corum, Braylon Allen. Chase, Rice, Godwin, Watson, Kincaid. This is an interesting team, but a lot upside. So starting Tua, Baker, Kincaid, Bijan, Gibbs, Chase, Rice, Godwin, or Watson in the flex. Say what you want about Baker, but I'm okay with him as a QB2. You still got Geno and Fields as potential options. That starting lineup's nice. You're going to have one of those wide receivers go to the bench. Good handcuff running backs. That's a very smoky team. You guys always, for the most part, stick to your draft tendencies, which year to year, which I love. Cinnabone. Last but not least, we got Caleb and Captain Kirk Go Chains. Komet at tight end. Swift, Brian Robinson, Brown. A-Chain was your keeper. Audric Estime. Amon-Ra, Collins, Flowers, Coleman, Worthy, Mooney. This team could do something for sure. Starting Caleb and Kirko, Amon-Ra, Collins, Swift and B-Rob. Then in the flex, you got Flowers, Coleman, Worthy. Oh, wait. You're starting Swift and H. Komet. This is a good team. I mean, it's really contingent on Caleb Williams having a good rookie season and Captain Kirk not being dead, but I think both those things are going. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a good rookie season. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be healthy this year. So Caleb, Kirk, Amon-Ra, Collins, A-Chain, Swift, Flowers in the flex. B-Rob can take over. Swift or A-Chain are hurt. Chase Brown, a great bench option. Coleman or Worthy can fill in at the flex. Mooney, a good late round option. This might be my favorite team. Not bad at all. All right, let's roast my team very quickly here. Richardson and Jaden Daniels. I'm screwed week 14, but the upside just felt too good to pass up. Matthew Stafford is my QB3, which I'm okay with. Barkley, Pacheco. Wanted to lock up running backs early because we saw a lot of those high-tier running backs used as keepers. Mostert, Gus Bus, Chubster is on my IR. Only league I've drafted him so far. Punted tight end, got Schultz. I'm okay with it. Cooper Reed, Deontay Sutton, Dell. So I kind of went like, I mean, these wide receivers are fine for this given strategy, but yeah, I kind of went light at wide receiver tonight. Load up at running back and quarterback early. Tank Dell being in the 14th round as my keeper. Try to use that to my advantage. But my starting lineup is going to be Richardson, Daniels, Barkley, Pacheco, Schultz, Dell, and Cooper and Reed. I think those would probably be my starting wide receivers and my flex. Deontay, Sutton, Mostert, Gus Bus on the bench, and then I'll hit the waivers for probably another wide receiver, but since Chubb will be on IR, maybe another tight end though. So yeah, I'm definitely okay with this team. Definitely okay with this team. I think for going kind of like zero wide receiver, for lack of a better term, I'm okay with how this worked out for sure. So let me know what you guys think about your squads. And all around a great draft tonight. It's going to be another great year in our annual Superflex League. All right, X District 1 through 10, rank a 10-man PPR 9th pick. You got Dak, JT, Rashad White, Garrett Wilson, Puka, Komet, Mixon, Christian Kirk. Great team. Give you a solid 9. I like Komet a lot. I really feel like Komet's being so slept on this year. I mean, Komet was the tight end 8 in full PPR last year, the tight end 7 the year before. Had a good chemistry with Justin Fields, but I think he'll be just fine, even with the new pass catchers on that team. Caleb Williams at quarterback. Dak's perfectly fine. Everyone hates Dak for no reason. JT, Rashad White, I love. I'm a big Rashad White fan. Wilson, Puka, great. I don't know if there's a double or single flex format. Mixon's okay in the flex. Maybe takes you down to 8.5, but he's okay. Kirk, I love in the flex as well. Good team for sure. Who should I keep? Puka, Kyron, or JJ? Really depends on where you drafted them. Really depends on where you drafted them. Probably Puka or Kyron, though. What's up, Stober? Good to see you. A lot riding on Caleb and Kirko. Yeah, but like I said, I'm not too worried about them. Finally won team of the night for the first time. Can't wait to miss the playoffs again. You like that Superflex Dynasty trade? I think my starters are stacked now. I mean, yeah, the trade's fine. Definitely a blockbuster trade. Let me pull up your squad. So you've got Lamb, Waddle, Metcalf, Moore, Reed. Yeah, I mean, I would say you're pretty stacked. You got Randall Robinson, Bateman on your bench. Xavier Leggett's on your taxi squad. Malik Washington's on your taxi squad. You got 2 firsts next year, a second, a third, and 2 fourths. You got lots of draft capital going to next year, which I think is important. So you got Stroud, Ramondre, Zamir White, Lamb, Waddle, Metcalf, and Njoku, Moore, Reed, Justin Herbert as your starting lineup. Definitely not bad. There's a lot of like really good, well-rounded. I mean, there's a lot of playoff potential teams in that league. Be interesting league. So Cinnabon ends up with Jaden Daniels, Blake Corum, Roshan Johnson, JJ Higgins, Coleman, Komet, Fant, Mooney, Parkinson. I mean, he's rebuilding or tanking, or I don't even know. He's got Flacco on his team, for crying out loud. So I think the swap of Lamb and JJ doesn't really hurt too bad there. Interested in Hawk and Chuba? No, get out of here. I'm not trading 2 cats. I'm just joking. I'm at maybe. I don't know. What are we trading? I'm interested in Hawks, says J Dubs. Turning 3 tight ends in Dynasty. Check your DMs. Gosh. No, I'm not doing that trade. Get out of here. It's not how it works. Flacco specifically for A-Rich. When A-Rich gets hurt, I can sell him for an extra third. Nice. Maybe even an extra second. Probably not, but maybe. 2/3 don't enter. 2/3 don't equal a second. I'm not trading you Mostert, you jerk. Sorry, I don't know why I'm being so aggressive. I mean, that's probably an okay trade. But I drafted Mostert because I wanted him. So. Yeah, I mean, it would help me live up to my name. That's true. 3rd rounders only. I've been trying to get a trade done with Spencer for like weeks now. And I don't think he's checking. But Spencer, if you're listening, can you accept our trade, please? All right, guys. So hit the like on the way out. I will be on tomorrow at some point. I think I'm going to stream the fantasy in-game draft that I'm in tomorrow. Because I have a home league drafting earlier in the night, and then the fantasy in-game draft probably right after. So probably just stream that and let you guys ask me fantasy questions. Probably be the plan. So great draft tonight. Congrats once again to the Superflex League. Always love putting together this annual league with you guys. It's going to be a great competitive season. A lot of really good teams tonight. Good drafting. Interesting to see the keepers across the board, how everything's shaped out. So everyone have a great night. I'll be back on tomorrow. Rest this next week as much as you guys can, because next week we have NFL kickoff. And things start to get very crazy. So love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. I will talk to everyone soon. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, yes, saw it here on the Catch. And